Hi, welcome along to AFTV with the breaking news today is that Arsenal have been strongly linked with a move for Gndoan, the captain of Manchester City. And that is according to David Ornstein of The Athletic, who prints today that he feels, or he's been told, that Arsenal are heavily interested in signing Gndoan. Now, Gündoğan, of course, lifted the Premier League trophy for Manchester City on Sunday. I know it still hurts to say it. I could barely watch it. It was horrible watching that ceremony when we're thinking to ourselves that could have been us. One of the reasons it wasn't us was our inability to rotate players. Now, Gndoan, of course, top quality player, would be able to give Arsenal that sort of option if he came in. It's one of the things that he's done brilliantly for Manchester City this season. He's been able to come in and out of the team and do very well. And I think he scored 4 in his last 4 games for Manchester City, 4 massive goals. And of course, as I said, he lifted the trophy, the Premier League trophy for Manchester City. Now, Gündoğan, of course, a midfielder. He's 32 now. He's been at Manchester City since since 2016 is when he joined Manchester City. And right throughout, he's been a top player. He's one of these players that sometimes goes a bit underneath the radar because he's so good, he's so skillful, he controls the tempo of games, and you don't even realise sometimes he's there. But he's that good, and it's not because he's not doing anything, it's because he's just pulling the strings all over the place. He's got a fantastic engine on him, and he's a top quality player. As a matter of fact, when Manchester City first signed him back in 2016, Arsenal were very interested in him as well, but they got blown out of the water, of course, by Manchester City. Now, has won multiple things at the club, and of course, we've taken a few players off of Manchester City last season in Jesus and Zinchenko. Could Arsenal repeat the trick here by getting Gündoğan? Now, the reason for a lot of these links, because you'd be thinking to yourself, why would Man City be looking to let Gündoğan go? The reason for these links is that his contract is up at the end of the season. Now, Manchester City have reportedly offered him an additional year, which he turned down. He wants a longer contract. And there has been rumours that Manchester City may go back and offer him a longer term because they do want to keep him. But if it's only going to be a year, Gündoğan has already indicated to Manchester City that, okay, fair play, I want to leave. There's also been rumours that his wife's a bit fed up of England and would like to move abroad. So that's another one of the rumours that's been going around. Now, the club that was heavily linked with him and said to be the most interested in him is Barcelona. And there were even reports a few weeks ago that he'd agreed personal terms to go to Barcelona. But who knows what Barcelona are going to do? Even though this would be a free contract, we know that Barcelona are in all kinds of financial trouble this since last year. Even though they've still been able to pull off some signings, would they be able to have the financial amount of money to do this deal and to match the wages that Gündoğan is going to want? Now, here comes the Arsenal links. Of course, Granit Xhaka looks like he's going to be moving on at the end of this season, all set to join Bayer Leverkusen. And of course, Mikel Arteta looking to add strength in depth. He knows Gündoğan from his time at Manchester City. We all know he's a top quality player. Free transfer makes absolute sense. Wouldn't cost a penny in transfer fees. It would just be negotiating the wages and length of contract. And what Gündoğan would bring would be a wealth of experience to that Arsenal team. And the more experience, the better. You know what I mean? Especially experience in trying to get over the line in a title run, which Gündoğan, of course, knows all about. So let's keep our eyes peeled on this one. This is going to be a running situation. But as I said, David Ornstein today reporting that Arsenal were very keen to try and sign Ilkay Gündoğan. He also goes on to talk about Mason Mount, another player that's been heavily linked with a move to Arsenal. Mason Mount, of course, of Chelsea, still only 24 Mount. It seems like he's older than that, even though he's one of those young-looking players, but he's been playing for so long for Chelsea, sometimes considered by many Chelsea fans as Mr. Chelsea. So it seems weird that Chelsea seem to be, resigned to letting him leave. Now, the situation with him, 1 year left on his contract. His contract's up in 2024. and he's been pushing for quite a big deal at Chelsea. Especially when you consider he's one of their main players. Ever since he came into the team in 2019, he's been a mainstay of the team. He's been one of their best players. Lots of assists, lots of goals from the midfield area. It seems very strange that they may let him go. There seems to be a disagreement over wages. Despite the fact that, as I said, he's sort of described as Mr. Chelsea, he's on, I heard half the wages of, say, an Aubameyang, and that must wind him up. So, this is one of the reasons why he'd be up for leaving. And of course, Chelsea have brought in a whole wealth of players. I still don't get their transfer policies. Crazy. But this has led to Mason Mount being sidelined. And of course, when you add on top of that, he's not had a very good season by his very, very high standards. I mean, quite anonymous this season. It looks like Mason Mount is going to be moving on. Now, the favourites to sign him were Liverpool. But looks like Liverpool are going to be getting McAllister from Brighton. There's also been links linking him with a move to Newcastle. Certainly a top quality player, as I said, in midfield. Also England international, regular England international as well. Mikel Arteta is a big fan of Mason Mount and sees him again as another one of those sort of English players who could come in, who knows the Premier League inside out. I think this is quite important for Arteta with a lot of his signings. Players that just come in, hit the ground running and know the Premier League. He's also very, very good friends with Declan Rice. So you never know, they could form some sort of good partnership in there and would be very, very good cover for Martin Odegaard. I mean, I've seen Martin Odegaard in, some of the last couple of games, a player running on empty. His style is all action, lots of pressing, lots of energy. Again, that inability of Arsenal to be able to rotate players seems to be a problem. So somebody like Mason Mount coming in would add extra depth into that midfield. He can play multiple positions there. He can play sort of out to the left. Of course, central midfielder and attacking midfielder. So would represent a good signing. Chelsea, though, would want a decent amount of money for him. We know that they're on a bit of a fire sale at the moment, and somebody like Mason Mount will probably command anything from around 50 to 60 million pounds, even though he only has a year left on his contract. So let's see how this one pans out. As I said, not just Arsenal interested in Mason Mount, but a host of other clubs as well. So let's see how that pans out. So those are a couple of the rumours today. Also, Ethan Nwaneri, the youngster who's only 15, who came on to play for Arsenal in that game earlier on in the season, making him the youngest ever Arsenal player. He's still been linked with a move away. Chelsea said to be one of the clubs interested in him, but Arsenal are still trying to tie him down. And of course, there's Reece Nelson as well. They're trying to tie down, although I'm hearing, I've been told that it looks like Nelson will sign a new contract at Arsenal, but let's wait and see how that one turns out. So those are the rumours today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out AFTV. Come and see us tomorrow. We're going to be at the Islington Assembly Hall doing the Invincible podcast live in front of an audience. If you want to get tickets, click the link in the description. That is tomorrow, May the 23rd at the Islington Assembly Hall. But thank you very much for watching AFTV, and I'll see you later.
Don't forget, the Invincible podcast is coming to you live.
It's going to be taking place at the Islington Assembly Hall on Tuesday, the 23rd of May. Tickets are available right now. Click the link and get involved now.
Come and join us.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.